Our NHL analyst Dave Poulin joins us once again. Dave, you've worked in Toronto in the Leafs organization. You understand the pressure that Kyle Dubas is under. What is that like? Can you take us into that room? What is that like on a personal level to have to deal with that pressure?
It's constant, Jay, without a doubt. I mean, it's 24/7. It's not just in Toronto. You know, I played in some pretty warm markets in Philadelphia and Boston when things got challenging or difficult for management. And, you know, there's only 32 seats, general manager seats in the NHL, and they are very hot. There's no question about it. But from a personal standpoint, I think that's what surprised people was the raw emotion of Kyle Dubas in his presser when he talked about his family and he talked about, and, you know, he's got a young family and the demands are great. And I think the timing right now, and now everyone is wondering how quickly they can resolve this, speaks to the timing of the job. There's no downtime. It's not like when the season ends for the players, the season ends for the managers. In fact, the next period of time could be one of the busiest in the NHL season for management groups. You know, you've got all your meetings coming up for the NHL Draft. You've got, you know, a number of guys are over at the World Championships right now looking for players. And there's so much work to be done preparing for arbitrations, all the cap work, your own unrestricted free agents, other teams' unrestricted free agents that are going to become available on July 1st. But just in-house, there's so much to be done short-term with this team in terms of your superstar group. So Kyle Dubas, that's the first order of business, to take care of the person who's going to take care of all the business. And when you think about it, you know, Austin Matthews looms. Going into his final year, he can be offered a new deal. But on July 1st, a no-move clause kicks in, which then gives him control. Right after that, Mitch Marner's no-move clause kicks in. He's got 2 years left. After that, William Nylander's no-trade clause kicks in. So all of this is happening in less than 6 weeks' time. And, you know, you have to respect totally the personal side of this, that it's going to take time for Kyle Dubas to settle in and make the decision about his next move. But it's a business where time is at a premium always.
I've got the news now that I've been waiting for years, Dave. The people of Tempe, Arizona voted down the Coyotes' new arena plan. So I was all excited that finally we'd be moving on from Arizona onto another market. And then we get this from Bill Daly today, the deputy commissioner. I do not envision a scenario in which the Coyotes are not playing at Mullet Arena, capacity 5,000, next year. Now, Darren Dreger added on That's Hockey that the team and the league are focusing on what might be available locally. He also brought up a possible partnership with new Phoenix Suns owner Matt Ishbia, but he did also say relocation's on the table. Dave, are we really still trying to make it work in Phoenix after this vote got voted down? Can we not just move on from this market finally? Can we not just move on?
There will be a final gasp out of Phoenix. There will be, for sure. And they actually have a little bit of the luxury of that, because had the Tempe deal gone forward, I believe it was 25, 26 before the new facility would be finished. So they'd already committed to Mullet for a couple of years. So that does buy them a little bit of time, Jay. And, you know, some of the cities they're talking about, would you be going into an existing structure in a new city if it were to move? Is there a building in place that's capable of housing an NHL hockey team? Some of the markets we've heard of, some of the markets we've been to. Kansas City, Atlanta, we've been to. Obviously, Quebec had a tremendous NHL franchise, which I played in for 12 years in the old Quebec Coliseum. They now have a new facility. So a lot of moving parts in this one too, but they do have a little bit of time.
Well, but
what
Dave,
everyone knows is Mullet Arena, Jay, Mullet Arena is not a long-term option. It's simply not. Something will break, but it doesn't have to break tomorrow.
But I guess my question with Mullet Arena is, I somewhat understood the logic of staying there if you knew at the end you were going to stay in that market and have a new arena built. But if you know there's no future in the market, why do you have to stay in Mullet Arena? Why can't you move on to it? You could even move to an existing market with an existing team with a bigger building. It would make more sense to me than staying in a building that's only holding 5,000 seats. For the rest of the governors, wouldn't they question why you would want to limit your revenue?
Well, the players also have a say in this because of HRR. Your salary cap is directly affected by a team not contributing its share. And so you're exactly right. I'm just thinking about the logistics. We're in the middle of May, Jay. And the logistics of moving to a new city, does that involve an ownership change? Does the current owner move the team to a different city? He doesn't have an interest in that. His whole play was the entertainment facility in Tempe. That was the entire play. And even today I heard mention, well, maybe it could go somewhere else in the East, in the Scottsdale area, but that wasn't the play. And this one was still going to take a few years. So I totally understand your frustration with this, but I still think they do get another year just to get things sorted out. I think it takes that much time to get whatever is going to happen sorted out.
Should mention it was May 2011 when the Jets moved from Atlanta to Winnipeg. Now, Winnipeg was ready. They were ready for them. They had the building. They were ready to go. But it's possible. This is what I'm saying. I feel like it's possible. And this is my favorite part, Dave. Patrick Mahomes is already lobbying for the Coyotes to come to Kansas City. KC Coyotes has a nice ring to it, NHL. What y'all think? I mean, Ryan Reynolds is great, but getting Patrick Mahomes involved in an ownership group in Kansas City, it's a lock. Let's just get it done. Dave, what do you think?
Well, Patrick Mahomes would be a great addition to any franchise, but with a hockey name like Ryan Smith, the Utah Grizzlies owner, like he's got the hockey name. And he sent a little tweet out about, look, come and get it. Utah's interested. So, hey, if there were a franchise available, we're watching the interest in the Ottawa Senators right now with 4 prospective bidders. We know if there were a team available, there'd be a lot of interest right now, Jay.
I agree with you. And you called the Utah Jazz the Utah Grizzlies, but we think maybe the old IHL team might have been called the Utah Grizzlies. I don't know. We'll look it up.
You know what? That's where I was. It was the Utah Jazz, clearly in basketball. I believe it was the Utah Grizzlies.
Yeah, I think
was the hockey team.
We were talking about the old IHL days. We could talk about it for hours, but we got to go. Dave, always a pleasure. Great chatting with you. We will talk with you soon.